Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. So today my group will be presenting our GPPP 1092 coursework 3, and our lecturer name is Miss Nur Hidayah Binti Hamzah. Alright, before we go into the topics, let us know my teammates. So first of all, it's me, Muhammad Farhan Mimikade, and my other group mates, which is
So my name is Anysa Syazwany.
My name is Ainul Asmat.
alright. So today we are going to present our slides on educational aspirations. So the question is, how does teacher quality influence the teaching and learning process in order to attain the educational aspirations? So we will be explaining this more thoroughly after this. So let's on to the first one. There are actually two types of aspirations in education. The first one is this one, the five. The other one is the student aspiration. So we are going to explain both. So first of all, generally, the five aspirations in education, I think we should all know is the first one is access, unity, efficiency, quality, and lastly equity. So let's start with access. So what is access? So here it means in Malaysia, the education system in Malaysia, there are 100% enrollment rate, which means that it is guaranteed for everyone to have the educations and go higher studies. For example, from primary school, they can go secondary school. It is 100%. So then you don't need to worry to not get enrolled to the next higher level of education. So on to the next one, which is unity. So it is a shared values and experience. So I cannot lie that every student, every human being have their own experience in life. So over here the aspiration is unity because students there are lots of type of schools, like vernacular, the normal kebangsaan schools where there are lots of races in one school, not just Malays, Indian, and just Chinese. So if we mix everybody together, they all will get shared values and also experience. Then we have efficiency. So what does it mean? We want to maximize student outcome within budget. Uh, like other countries, we have our own budget for the education system. For example, we have a certain amount of money to maximize the outcome of the students. So even though our budget is not as big as other countries like if you say like German or Japan, which they can provide free education for the students. But we also, even though we have a small budget, we can also maximize the student outcome to become professional and international level. The next one is quality. Why quality? Because Malaysia are aiming to be the top third of countries in another 15 years. So it might look like it's going to be a long time, but actually for education, it's just a nick of time. It's very short. Then equity, 50% reduction in achievement gaps. What does it mean by achievement gaps? So there are in Malaysia, we have villages, we have forests, and we have indigenous people where they live in village, right? So the schools, of course there are schools in villages and also school in cities. But the bad thing is, the school in villages, their achievement are very far back from the one in cities. So we are aiming to have 50% reduction in achievement gaps. So that means even though you learn at a school in the village, your achievement are still the same as the one in cities and in areas like for example in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, on to the next one, we have the six student aspirations, which we will be explaining mostly in this video. For the first one, we have is knowledge. Then we have thinking skills, leadership skills, bilingual proficiency, ethics and spirituality, and last but not least, national identity. So we will explain this thoroughly. So first of all, we go into the ethics and spirituality. So in order to make sure and instill the ethics and spirituality in the students' well-being in themselves, so what should a teacher should have? First of all, they should have is personal integrity. Teachers should be good examples of ethical behavior and also personal integrity, which means their actions and words should align with the values they seek to instill in the students to shape their characters. Over here, I am mentioning that in order to shape someone's personal integrity, you have, especially for students, right? You or us as a teacher, we need to show them how to have personal integrity. Ourselves must have personal integrity first. For example, we must be responsible in teaching. So if we show we are responsible, we come to class on time, we go do our work properly, so the students will see and set like they will follow us, set us as a guideline. So this is how they will have ethics and spirituality inside them. Okay, for the next one we have open-mindedness. So teachers should encourage students to explore and express their own beliefs and also values. Uh, so being an open-minded teacher is actually not quite hard, but there are some teachers outside there that they they value their own opinion more than the students' opinion. They think they are always right. This is then a good behavior in class, especially. Being open-minded fosters an atmosphere of tolerance and acceptance. Right now, a good teacher must accept and tolerate with their students' behavior. No matter how, even though they are quite wrong, we have to correct them, not just like telling them off like that. We have to, sometimes they can be also right, sometimes they can correct us teachers instead. So we have to accept that the students also have their own opinion. But before that, there is a video that we will watch after this, which will show the comparison of an open-minded teacher and also a non-open-minded teacher. So let's watch it.
Okay, good morning class.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so today we are going to learn about gender inequality. So Anisa, can you tell me a bit of your knowledge on gender inequality?
I think about gender inequality, I think women should be provided the same opportunities as men.
No, I don't think so. I think you're on the right track right now. Okay, good morning class.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so today we are going to learn about gender inequality. So Anisa, do you have any experience about gender inequality? What do you think about it?
I think women should be provided the same opportunities as men.
Wow, I actually didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I also agree with you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, women should be the same as men. They
Yeah.
shouldn't be lower than them, right?
Yes, sir.
On to the next one we have is cultural sensitivity. So being aware and respecting diverse cultural and spiritual backgrounds allows teachers to create an environment that acknowledges and celebrates differences. So what does this mean? What does this mean? So we know that in Malaysia we have lots of culture, not just one. I think we all know that. So when the teacher exposes the students to more than one culture that they never heard of themselves, they can be like, oh, I don't know about this, like that. So when this happens, it will make them more cultural sensitive. For example, like some culture there have some sensitive stuff you cannot play around with, like religion or something like that. The students know their boundaries in culture. Okay, on to the next one. We have empathy and also compassion. Teachers must understand the challenges students face and provide emotional support. For example, I know that every student have their own like problems, have their own challenges they face. Not all students are the same, right? So, for example, some students have like family problem. Some students they just very hard to learn. They're the type to learn visually. They're the type to learn actively, kinetic. I think we learn that also. This will help students to be compassionate and encourage them to be the good part of society. Why? So, when we be empathy, we have sympathy in ourselves. The student themselves will follow us, and they will take us as an example. Like if we ourselves are good in society, we help the society, then also the student will be trying to be following us. For example, like Datuk Sri Lee Chong Wei, uh, he's a sport athlete within badminton. He started off as a student, then he make the Malaysian name go top. From people don't know, until they hear Lee Chong Wei name, they know it's Malay from Malaysia. That's how high he's been to. Alright, this is how we can shape the ethics and spiritual inside the student. And lastly, we have community engagement. For example, we can involve students in community service and projects, promote social responsibility and empathy, can reinforce ethical values and a sense of spirituality. For example, community service, we can bring the students to go to the beach cleanup, or we can just go nearby neighborhood, maybe the housing area next by, uh, or we can just inside the school area even can. The other people's school also can. So it can promote social responsibility and empathy, because in community, if we should mix with other type of people, not just our own kind, right? So in this, it can shape the students' ethics and moral value also, so they can feel what other culture and people feel also. So the next one is national identity. So in order to instill national identity inside a student's well-being, a teacher should have patriotism and also pride. Why? Because to express enthusiasm for national symbols, achievements, and cultural heritage helps instill a sense of patriotism. So teachers should demonstrate a genuine love for their country, serving as a positive role model for their students. For example, during like uh, the freedom merdeka, we should go with the teachers and the students. We can sing the song, the national anthem together. We can play the flags around. This will create a sense of patriotism inside the students and also the teachers. So in the long run, we can also shape their national identity, so they are proud to be Malaysians. So on to the next one, we have civil or civic education. Incorporating civic education into the curriculum helps students understand the principles of democracy, civic duties, and the role of citizens in shaping the nation. Teachers should emphasize the importance of active citizenship. For example, the teachers can teach how democracy works. Maybe not too deep because they are students, right? And also civic duties and the role of citizens in shaping the nation, which means they should teach like what the students should be in the future, how they're gonna help our country, how they're gonna make our country proud. They should be good citizen, not just like there's some students out there, they newly come out from school, they ready to do bad stuff, go in news, go in prison. This isn't a good behavior from the students themselves. So on to the next one, we have historical awareness. So teachers need a deep understanding of the nation's history to convey its significance to the students. By exploring historical events and the struggles the country faced, helps students connect with their national identity. So what does this mean? Okay, first of all, the teachers need to learn history. I mean, it's not that hard because from primary school we have been learning history till now, and history have become one of the important subject in Malaysia. So by learning history and telling our students about the great events happened in Malaysian history, we can tell them what we need to learn from it and what have Malaysia struggled with. So they can be proud of Malaysia for their achievements. So this also can help them shape their national identity. And lastly, we have cultural understanding. By understanding and appreciating the diverse cultural elements that contribute to the national identity is also essential. Teachers should be culturally competent, embracing and celebrating the richness of country's language and traditions. This means in Malaysia we don't have like one only race. Like I said just now, we have plenty. We also have plenty of languages and also traditions from that is generational, go down, pass that we need to keep. So by promoting cultural understanding to the students, they will be like more open to the cultures. For example, pretend like there are schools with only one race, like all Malays, so they can learn that there are also other races like Chinese, like Indians, and learn their language and also their traditions. So this should be because they are also Malaysians, right? So this will be a great help to shape their national identity. All right, so I will pass the presentation to the next person to present the other student aspirations.
Okay, so we're going to proceed our presentation with the third aspirations, which is knowledge. So, what a teacher should have to encourage the student to reach the third aspirations, which is the knowledge. So, a teacher should have effective communication skills. Why is it said so? So, clear and effective communication is crucial for ensuring that students understand the concept being taught. So teachers should encourage open dialogue and provide opportunities for students to ask questions. So there will be two-way communication between the students and also teachers. So what are the impact? What is the impact on the student themselves? So students who comprehend the explanation of their learning objectives at the start of class will gain an indirect comprehension of the subject matter since they will be able to connect the learning content. Thus, knowledge and critical thinking abilities are two of the six student objectives that students can fulfill in this way. Okay, so the next slide is, so what a teacher should have to encourage the student to reach the third aspirations from the six student aspirations, which is knowledge. So a teacher should have an engaging instructional strategies such as group discussions, hands-on activities, and multimedia presentation to cater the different learning styles and keep students engaged. But there are still some more engaging instructional strategies, such as teachers organizing quizzes using Kahoots, quizzes. Those are the platforms. So, what is the impact on the students? Teachers can help students better retain and comprehend the information being presented. Visual aids, real-world examples, and interactive simulations can make complex concepts more accessible to students. So, with engaging instructional strategies used in the teaching and learning process in the classroom, students will becoming more interested in deepening the knowledge they learn. So why did I say so? Well, for example, students need to make a presentation about subjects studied in another language. For example, a Malay student is required to make a presentation in English. So first of all, it is certain that they will improve their understanding of the subject itself to avoid mistakes in the presentation. And secondly, they will be able to expand their understanding in languages other than their mother tongue. So in this case, the students will be able to achieve some student aspirations, namely knowledge, thinking skills, leadership skills, and also bilingual proficiency. So moving on to the third slide, which is preparedness. So a skilled teacher can communicate complex concepts in a clear and understandable manner. Teachers are well prepared by aligning their lesson plans with the curriculum objectives and learning outcomes. So what are the impacts on the student? It helps in delivering relevant content that directly contributes to students' understanding of the subject matter. Secondly is when students know what is expected from them, they are better prepared to engage with the material and acquire knowledge if effectively. So, for instance, teachers must adhere to the RPH or or known as a daily lesson plan on a regular basis in order to prepare ahead of time for the resources that will be used in the classroom and to be prepared to respond to complex questions that will be asked from the students. That will be asked from the student about the subjects covered during the teaching and learning process. So students benefit from receiving well-reasoned responses while gaining knowledge and critical thinking abilities related to the six student aspirations. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the fourth aspirations from the sixth student aspiration, which is critical thinking. So under critical thinking, there are 3 points, which is analytical skills, problem solving skills, and also subject matter expertise. So we're going to go one by one. So first of all, I'm going to talk about analytical skills. What is analytical skills? What is the relation between a good quality teacher and analytical skills and the students and the six student aspiration? Okay, so analytical skills, fostering analytical and logical reasoning, enhancing problem solving abilities, improving the quality of outcomes and solution. So in an effort to produce students who are able to achieve critical thinking, the teachers themselves need to have analytical skills. So this can have an impact on students to improve their skills in using logic and analytical processes in their learning process. So number one and number two is problem solving skills. Inspire students to approach challenges with a critical mindset, teaching them to think truthfully, use issues systematically. So teachers serves as role models for their pupils. So when they exhibit positive personal traits like problem solving abilities, it inadvertently encourages students to apply those abilities to solve challenging challenges as well. So in this instance, students can fulfill six student aspirations by gaining information, critical thinking abilities, multilingual proficiency, and leadership qualities. So the last one for critical thinking is subject matter expertise. Profound knowledge of the subject matter allows teacher to challenge students with thought-provoking questions and materials. Okay, perhaps all of you are asking how the accomplishment of the six student ambitions and the caliber of the subject matter aspect teacher relate to one and another. So the reason is that if a teacher uh, possesses such good traits, he or she can ask students questions that are just a little bit difficult, which will help them develop their thinking abilities, which is one of the six student ambitions, six student aspirations. So I think that is all from me. I'm going to pass this presentation to my teammates. Thank you.
Moving on to the next student aspiration, which is leadership skills. So, what is the quality that teachers need in order to influence teaching and learning process in order to attain these leadership skills in students? So, the first one is cultivate empathy and emotional intelligence. Leadership is not just about making decisions; it also involves understanding and empathizing with others. Teachers who cultivate empathy and emotional intelligence create a conducive learning environment where students develop the interpersonal skills necessary for effective leadership. So, teachers can model and encourage perspective taking that help students to understand different viewpoints and experiences. So, by promoting collaboration, communication, perspective taking, and self awareness, these teachers empower students to become compassionate and influential leaders in their communities. So, when we talk about self awareness, so effective leadership begin with self awareness. So, teachers who prioritize empathy and emotional intelligence help students to develop a deep understanding of their own emotion, strength, and also weaknesses. So, students will learn to recognize how their action and decision impact others. So, this is the essential aspect of responsible leadership. So, moving on to the next one, empowering students. So, empowering students to take initiative, make decision, and take responsibility for their action is key to developing leadership skills. So, um, take initiative. Empowering students encourage them to take initiative in their own learning and within the classroom environment. They will feel confident in expressing their ideas, taking on challenges, and also seeking solution to problems without constant guidance from teacher. Next is we talk about make decisions. So by empowering students, teachers will enable them to make decisions regarding their learning experiences. This could involve selecting topic for projects, choosing group members, deciding on the direction of a class discussion. So through these opportunities, students will learn how to evaluate options, consider consequences, and also make informed choices. And um, uh, teachers can provide opportunities for students to lead group projects, participate in extracurricular activities, and also take ownership of their learning. So this is really essential lesson for leadership development. So next is creating a supportive environment. Inspirational teachers create a supportive and inclusive classroom environment where students feel safe to express themselves, take risks, and learn from failures. This environment fosters the development of leadership skills such as communication, collaboration, and problem solving. Teachers who create a supportive environment can establish trust with their students. When students feel valued, respected, and understood, they are more likely to take risks, express themselves freely, and actively engage in the learning process. So, this atmosphere of trust and confidence is essential in nurturing the leadership skills in students. By fostering a nurturing and empowering environment where students feel valued, respected, and supported, teachers will help instill the leadership skills necessary for success in school, in the workplace, and also in their life. Moving on to the next point, challenging assumptions. Inspirational teachers challenge students to think critically, question assumptions, and explore new perspectives. By encouraging independent thought and intellectual curiosity, they help students develop the confidence to lead and make decisions. Teachers who challenge assumption encourage students to think critically about the information that they encounter. They will prompt students to question why things are the way they are, how they could be improved, and what alternative that perspective exists. So this can foster a habit of critical thinking, a crucial skill for effective leadership. And also challenging assumption also open the door to meaningful discussion and debates in the classroom. Uh, Teachers will encourage students to express their opinion, engage in respectful disagreement, and consider diverse viewpoints. So next, the next student expression, which is bilingual proficiency. So what a teacher should have is the first one is successful communication techniques. Clear communication is essential for language learning. A teacher who communicates effectively can explain concepts clearly, model proper pronunciation and grammar, and provide constructive feedback to help students to improve their language skills. Clear communication can ensure that students understand the concept being taught. This is especially crucial in bilingual education where students may be learning new concept in a language that they are still acquiring. So when teachers can identify areas where students need improvement, and then they can offer guidance on how to address these challenges, students can actively work towards enhancing their bilingual proficiency. So next is creativity and adaptability. Language learning should be engaging and dynamic. A creative and adaptable teacher can incorporate a variety of instructional strategies, activities, and materials to cater to different learning styles and keep students motivated and interested in learning. So, a creative and adaptable teacher can employ a variety of instructional strategies to accommodate different learning styles and preferences. For instance, like some students may benefit from visual aids, while others may learn better through auditory. So, by incorporating a diverse range of techniques such as games, role plays, storytelling, and etc., the teacher can create a dynamic learning environment that caters to the needs of all students. So, the qualities of creativity and adaptability enable teachers to uh, effectively support the development of bilingual proficiency in students. Moving on to the next one, enthusiasm and passion for language learning. A teacher who is genuinely enthusiastic about language can inspire and motivate students to engage actively with the language they are learning. Enthusiasm can create a positive learning environment where students feel encouraged to practice, experiment, and take risks with the new language. So when a teacher is enthusiastic about language, it will naturally inspire and motivate students to become excited about learning too. Students will more likely to engage actively in the learning process when they see their teachers' genuine enthusiasm for the subject matter. When students observe their teachers' dedication and passion for language learning, they will likely to emulate similar attitudes and behavior toward learning the language themselves. This can lead to greater commitment and perseverance in language acquisition. So the last one, patience and encouragement. Patience and encouragement are crucial qualities. Learning a new language can be challenging, and students need support and motivation to persist through these difficulties. Teachers who are patient and encouraging can help students feel comfortable taking risks and making mistakes, which are really essential part of the language learning process. So, um, teachers who are patient and encouraging can create a safe and supportive atmosphere where students feel comfortable practicing their language skills without fear of uh, judgment. This environment can foster confidence and willingness to take risks in using the language. So, in summary, the quality of patience and encouragement in a teacher that plays a crucial role in creating a positive and nurturing learning environment where students will feel more motivated to explore and develop their bilingual proficiency. So that's all from me. So this is the reference that we use in making our slide. So before I end this discussion, so anyone who want to make the conclusion?
So, in my opinion, it is crucial for these teachers to have very good skills, very high skills to in order to produce students who can reach, who can lead, who are courage to reach the six student aspirations, which are very crucial for our education nowadays. So I think teachers should be trained with these kind of qualities in order to achieve that. So that is all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.